If you're like me, you want to reclaim the real estate on your desk back. I bought the RODECaster Duo to do just that. But even with the small size, it still wasn't enough for me. Thankfully, the RODECaster Duo comes with a Vesa mount, but information was sketchy at best. Heck, most of the information I found about Vesa mounting the RODECaster Pro 2 or the RODECaster Duo came from third-party sources, which contradicts what Rode sent to me via communication in email. In their communication, they say the RODECaster Pro 2 has a 1/4 inch threaded hole on the bottom, whereas everywhere else I found on third-party sites say it's a 3/8 inch threaded hole. I'm more inclined to believe it's a 3/8 inch threaded hole. Regardless, it's 100 millimeter Vesa holes on both the RODECaster Pro 2 and the RODECaster Duo. And since many reviewers of both devices won't flip those babies over, I've included shots of the bottom of the RODECaster Duo. After being thoroughly confused, I simply ordered the desk Vesa mounts from Amazon, links into the description. I ordered a dual and a single. After doing my non-scientific measurement, I determined that I'd use the 12 millimeter depth Vesa screws on the back of the RODECaster Duo or on the RODECaster 2 if you have that. They are M4 Vesa screws, so it just means 4 millimeters. And the arms I ordered come with varying depths because they think you might be using it on a TV, so they have longer ones in there, but I just used the 4 millimeter by 12 millimeter. Putting together the desk mounts, even though there was a lot of parts, was a breeze. My only concern was over tightening those Vesa screws and hearing that RODECaster Duo go snap. No, I'm being serious. I was really concerned. Keep in mind, when it comes to the depth of the Vesa screws, you don't have to go crazy. Definitely do not over tighten. The Vesa mount itself is going to eat up a little bit of that Vesa screw, but still, everyone's inclination on tightening stuff is to really clamp it down. When you see how this thing sets on the Vesa mount, you'll realize that you don't need to torque the Vesa screws at all. After I got everything set up, it was time to turn on the RODECaster Duo and nothing. Then I remembered I'd turned the power strip off. So once again, it was time to turn the device on, and it turned on like a charm. So please do not skip ahead. I'm going to give you my notes and I'm going to give you my final thoughts, and I'm not going to answer any questions in the comments that I've already covered in this video. So if you skip ahead, you do so at your own peril. If you're mounting the RODECaster 2, you don't really have to worry about the tension arm because that sucker is a beast. If you are mounting the RODECaster Duo, you need to loosen the tension on this arm all the way down because you don't want this thing to pop up and put your Duo into orbit. When I first did it, I had situations where if I passed a certain threshold, it would go up on its own. But there you go. See how it pops up like that? So if you're doing this to alter the height, I'll be honest, I wouldn't recommend mounting the Duo if you're thinking about changing heights all the time. But if you're doing it so you can just move the device around like this, that's why I've done it. I can bring it in close. I could be doing my show, and then I can just pivot it and push it out of the way. That's why I want it. But if you have the RODECaster 2, the weight of the RODECaster 2 is going to easily stop it from doing this. It's going to act more like a monitor on here because of the weight. If you have the RODECaster 2, you're fine. Next, when moving it, move it by the arm. It's just my opinion. I am not going to be grabbing it from the sides like this and putting tension on those M4 Vesa screws. I am grabbing it underneath the bottom by the arm, and I'm moving it that way. That's just my opinion, what I think works best. Again, let me reiterate, do not over tighten those screws. Do not do it. You do so at your own risk. And the last note that I would give to you would be cable management. So the problem with this, I'm going to include some screenshots, is when you have it Vesa mounted up here like this, the cables come out and straight down. So it can make a big crimp in the cable. Just recall it once you had your device on the desk, how the cable ran across the desk and then it goes off the edge at a further point, not close to the actual USB-C connection. But with this, it has a tendency to curve right past the USB connection. So what I've done is I've laid it over this backdrop I have already up here just to give it some length and it's not curving right around past the USB-C port. So those would be my main notes for you. And my final thoughts are very important, but please subscribe to the channel. So another thing, I bought the dual and the single Vesa mount for the desk, and I have the dual one on here now. They're both anchored in right here on the desk. I would have preferred to buy 2 singles because then I could pull the dual to this part of the desk and I could push the monitor a little further that way or leave it where it's at and move the dual further away. Because of the width of my screen, it's hard for my dual to get away from there because I have a boom arm, the monitor, and then the duo. So it's a lot going on over here. So 2 separate singles would have worked better. And then another thing that I think is really strange, whether you believe the email from Rode on the size of the hole on the bottom of the RODECaster 2, or you believe the third-party sources that say it's 3/8 inch, I don't understand why this doesn't have the threaded hole on the bottom of it. This seems like more the device that you would want to use with one of those stands that would have the threaded adapter. This seems perfectly fit for that because it's lightweight, it's really small, and the RODECaster 2 seems more like a Vesa mount only device. The RODECaster 2 would put tension on these arms and keep them from springing up. So I don't understand why this is absent that threaded hole and the RODECaster 2 has it. I can't see going back to having it on the desk. I can see the screen so much better. I see the buttons so much better for what I want to select, and everything is just easier to access. So I greatly appreciate that Rode added the Vesa mount to the Duo and of course the RODECaster Pro 2. If you're looking to mount your device, links are in the description. And as always, thank you.